Simon here, Explosive Action, doing a metal update in front of the camera. I have never done an in front of the camera update before, and I thought, why not? We're in isolation, we're doing things a bit different. Let's give this one a try. And we are listening to in the background, though you probably can't hear it very well, is the new Sons of Belial cassette. This is really cool, from Seance Records, folds out like this. Very cool for a cassette. Limited to 50 copies, I think. So that's very cool. So we're going to go through some CDs and records. First one I got here. This is Ceremony, the reissue of their only album on Vic Records, Tyranny from Above. This is really good, sort of solid, sinister style death metal from, was it like 93 or 4, something like that. This is 2016 reissue. Has a few demo tracks on the end, promo stuff. It all kind of blends to sound like the album, so it's not jarring. Excuse the reflection, I'm getting used to doing things in front of the camera. But this is really good, you can get that quite cheap. This is awesome. Monarch, Canadian black metal. If you don't know Monarch, but you know bands like Fortress, you need to check out Monarch. This is their compilation, Et Cultus Morbidus. I don't know, but it's limited to 516 out of 600, I think. 666, my copy, 516 out of 666. How evil. So this is basically their debut album, but with some extra demo tracks and stuff. Let's see if that's any better. There you go, take the sleeve out. We're learning as we go here, aren't we? Really cool CD, and yeah, I love this band. They've done a couple of albums and a couple of EPs at this point, and everything's good, just like Fortress, everything from that area, French-Canadian black metal, it's awesome. Speaking of awesome, Merciless, their second album, The Treasures Within. This is the original press on Active Records. Got this one for a pretty good price on eBay. Everybody knows their first album, and everybody knows because it was the first release on Death Like Silence Productions out of Norway, Euronymous' label. This is less black thrash and more second and third album creative thrash. That's what I get out of this one. It's outstanding. I don't know why I slept on this for so long. Yeah, I highly recommend picking this one up in whatever form you can. If you just like really solid, fast, clean thrash, then yeah, you need to check out Treasures Within. It's fantastic. It's going to be one of my highly played albums this year, I'm pretty sure. This one I picked up also on eBay. Lux Occulta. The what's this one called? Forever Alone Immortal on Pagan Records, back out in, I want to say something like 93 or 4. It's got the old Modern Invasion triangle. That stuff is stuck on like concrete. You cannot remove those triangles. Every Aussie knows the pain and joy of those triangles. Anyway, it's the CD. Yeah, this is really good stuff. It's sort of mid-paced doomy black metal. Yeah, it sounds pretty unique, but also quite familiar, I suppose. Has not an outstanding amount of uniqueness compared to a lot of other bands, but I don't know. I really dug this. I hadn't heard it before. I sort of took a bit of a punt on it. And yeah, pleasantly surprised. And yeah, an old Pagan Records release, so that's also really good. Lux Occulta. Yes, awesome. I found this one came in the mail today. This is the first album from Horner, Finnish black metal. How the hell do I say that? Hidden Torna. We'll go with that. I love the cheesiness of this cover. That's how you do a black metal cover. Fantastic. Looks like a Apollyon from Au Noir. This is their first album, and it's just ripping Finnish black metal. Horner really carved out a sound for Finland, and yeah, probably my favourite from them as well. I tune out a bit on the later ones. They kind of get a bit samey and a bit like Marduk just became a blast fest. Here is when they're a bit more restrained sound, and yeah, it's really good. This is the original press on Silestium, so yeah, very happy to get that one. Did not pay very much for it either. Two very happy albums to get here. The first two from Hades. God, that reflection. So we've got Again Shall Be, their first album, and The Dawn of a Dying Sun, second album, both on Full Moon Productions. In what years are we talking here? Sort of like 95 or 6, I think, is around about when Hades came about. So that's the first press, and this is an early second press, but not a first press. Really strong sort of Viking black metal, a bit like Enslaved Frost, but with sort of diabolical Full Moon mysticism guitars. I don't know, that's how it sounds to me. Hades is a band that I never paid attention to. I don't know why. They just bypassed me with all of the Emperors and the Immortals. Hades, I don't know, it just didn't happen. And I'm really glad to have them now, particularly this one. This one is an absolute cracker, and this one's awesome as well, but definitely Again Shall Be shall be again in my player very soon. Falkenbach, this is Ok Nefna Tisva Tai. I got no hope trying to say these things. Falkenbach, I've had their first and second and fourth albums, I think, for as long as I can remember. I got the first album 20 years ago, something like that. For some reason I missed this one. I think this is their third, or maybe it's the fourth and I've got the fifth. I don't know. They got quite a lot of albums and many of them have this exact same cover. It gets confusing. But again, really lush sounding, sort of pagan Viking metal, clean vocals and harsh vocals mixed in. It's got lots of keys and big grand sound. Like, it sounds like you're going on a longboat. Really good stuff. I really like Falkenbach. And yeah, this one I picked up from Utopia Records online as a used copy. And yeah, they shipped it to me in this hell that we face ourselves in at the moment. This one, stoked to get this. Throne of Ahaz, Niflheim. The first press. This is a House of Kicks release. Really, really awesome. Their first album, quite hard to get now. I paid a little bit for it, but not disgusting amount. Yeah, House of Kicks, No Fashion Records. Really good. Raw black metal, but 90s raw, so it's not too crazy. Yeah, I really dig it. Don't know why I never picked it up before. I had their second album probably 15 years ago, and I think I traded it on, so I don't have it now. Must not have done much for me, but this one, Niflheim, does a lot for me. Really good. Some modern stuff. This is Ectoplasma. These guys have become a bit of a darling at the moment. They're doing quite a few albums. Everyone's raving about them. This is their first one, called Spitting Coffins. Just straight ahead death metal. Not even sure where these guys come from. I don't know. Probably US. Really don't know where Ectoplasma come from. Really cool cover. Just solid stuff. It's not very exciting. It's not very out of the ordinary. Just quality death metal. Ectoplasma. Definitely worth your time. The last CD we got here is the new one, Infernal Conjuration. Oh, that reflection. We'll do something about that. There we go. Really good. Kind of, I don't know how I put this. They're I'm not sure how to describe these guys. They've got like a Nuclear War Now sounding death black metal vibe going on. I think that's probably the best way of saying it. It's a Nuclear War Now sounding band. They're on Iron Bonehead. Does that sort of help? Because I think it probably does. If you know those two labels and it's one of their releases, you sort of know the sound you're getting. It's not war metal. It's just, yeah, it's death black metal. Really good stuff. Very happy with that one. Take a look at the LPs. Non-metal. Stoked to get this one in. This is the Vault of Horror, Lucio Fulci Gates of Hell Trilogy 3 LP set. This thing is magical. Got this from Amazon Australia. I was shocked that they even had it. So it's this big gatefold thing. So you get a bunch of pages of a book, which is really cool. City of the Living Dead has the LP in there. It's a purple, kind of greeny one. And we get The Beyond, which is really cool. Orange and Black LP. These are the Fabio Frizzi soundtracks, if that wasn't obvious. And House by the Cemetery in a green and black LP. The sound on these is really good. Really awesome sound. Like, really, really good pressing. Was a little expensive, but it's a hard, like, nearly like a novel. It's like a coffee table book or something, so it's well worth it. The 3 soundtracks are excellent, and yeah, very happy to pick up Vault of Horror, the Lucio Fulci Gates of Hell trilogy. If you haven't seen those movies, then I don't know what you're doing. You need to check them out. LP of Baxax Axa, the Old Evil. These guys hadn't done anything since 1992, and then come back in 2019, 2020 and do a new demo. And it's just like time hasn't passed. It's raw sounding, but really kind of how would I put it? I don't know. It's just solid early '90s sounding black metal. They're from Germany, and it's got sort of reverb vocals and bit of keys and everything. It's just a mix of everything you like about '90s black metal. Nothing exciting, it's just a black LP. Highly recommended. There's a tape as well, probably a CD, and they class it as a demo. It's only the 5 tracks, 45 RPM, so it sounds really good. Strongly recommended. The Old Evil. Everybody knows Blasphemy. This is the new Nuclear War Now release of Gods of War. So, Gods of War is the album that people don't really think of. They think of Blood on the Altar, and it's all the same. I mean, it's basically tracks from Blood Upon the Altar and a couple of intros and maybe one or so new track, just redone, because that's what Blasphemy do. They do the same thing over and over and over and over, and we love them for it. Gatefold and Red LP. I'll see if I can get this one out. The bonus of not having to hold my camera when doing these things. That's right. So, sticker, cool. Patch. It's the gatefold. Very cool. Saw these guys live last year and it was just mental. There's only maybe like 100 of us in this tiny room. Red. Very nice. Yeah, 100 of us or so in a tiny room. No stage to speak of. I was right up the front. Everyone was drunk as hell, and they just ripped out for an hour long. And in that setting, all their songs sound exactly the same, and it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. This one was a gift. Genocide Organ with Lichtenlein. Not usually the kind of thing I listen to. It's German power electronics from the 80s, really ahead of the time. It's actually really quite good. So yeah, it's power electronics, so it's a lot of noise, death industrial stuff. But from the 80s, I didn't actually realise this stuff was going on that long. It's just a black LP, nothing exciting in it. But if I'm going to own one Genocide Organ album, I'm happy it's the first one. Definitely not an everyday listen. As I said, it's just practically noise and Death Industrial stuff, but time and place for everything. This is awesome. The split between Panopticon and I don't know how to say these guys. Wendell Lust something. I got it wrong when I did it before. Woldgeflüster. Anyway, split between them and Panopticon. This is on Byron, and it's got one new track from each band and a cover of the opposing bands, which is really, really cool. If you know Panopticon, who's obviously the band that people would know the most of, really lush, organic sounding black metal, folk black metal. It's got the last track has got it's just bluegrass with banjo, and that's all it is. They've got a really unique sound, and I think that's why sort of the underground's really taken to them. Panopticon and Woldgeflüster, both equally good, similar sound as well. So this was really, really cheap. I got this on Amazon Australia, and one, that's a shock because it's a Byron LP, and it was on Amazon Australia, which means it's sitting in the Melbourne warehouse. They had one copy, and because I got Amazon Prime, they shipped it to me. I paid $13.80 Australian, including shipping. I don't know. Absolute bargain. The shipping itself would have cost me that if I was going to post it somewhere. So that's pretty awesome. And getting to the end, Vampiric Blood, 2017 album, I think this was. Howling in Candlelight. This is awesome. On Dark Adversary, Seance Records put this out in Australia. Really, really good. Vampiric sounding black metal. If you know what I mean by that prefix, that's exactly what this stuff sounds like. It's got keys, it's got some really demented, screamy vocals, some deeper vocals. Really good stuff for this genre. Totally recommend checking these guys out. There's a couple of albums before it, but hard to find, I think. But there are still copies of this one on Seance Records store. Dark Adversary may have copies as well, so definitely check it out. And the last one, which is good because the tape has stopped. This is Vampiric Rites. These guys are absolutely fantastic. They are from Ecuador. I've got the demo tape of this one, and I simply couldn't say no to upgrading to the LP. Tape was put out by Death Cult. LP was put out by Azra in one of their unique sort of, I don't know what you call it, it's almost like a slip. And the LP inside, kind of pain to get back in though. There we go. These guys these are definitely out of the real underground black metal at the moment from the smaller labels. These guys are my number one. This was 100 copies, I think, on Azra, and the next demo of theirs, I think, has just come out, and there's another one that's coming out soon. So they're putting out a lot of material, which is really good, and I highly recommend checking out Vampiric Rites. Excellent black metal that sounds exactly like that cover. And that's it. That's the update. Give me some feedback on if you like me doing it this style in front of the camera. And cheers. Thanks for watching.